Hi, I'm AJ.
I'm Caleb.
And you know how Jeremy said he wasn't feeling too good yesterday? Yeah, he's in a coma.
Oh, yes, a coma. That's what he's in.
Thank you once again for joining us. Sorry about Jeremy. He's just been going off and on this sickness. It's horrendous.
I think
glad you're not here.
I think it's even worse because I think he got it from his daughter.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Either way, first story of the day. Going back to the Olympics because, you know, there's just so many good and bad things that come out of there. This one kind of both. Jordyn Wieber, who was considered the favorite to win the gold in the singles in gymnastics and failed terribly. Yeah, we didn't cover that, but that's just because I couldn't. It was sad. She just broke down and not even cried, just shut off emotion, just shut people off. It was sad just to watch, by all reports. And then came the team, part of the Olympics. She went out there, still closed down, but fully into the set, went all the way through, perfect in every step, stuck the landing absolutely wonderfully. And they said you could just see the smile break onto her face after that because she knew she'd gotten it. You know, before numbers were even posted overall, there was no way any team was going to come anywhere close to this. Good on ya.
USA. So moving on to our second story of the day, it's been found that 1 in 3 adults sleepwalk, or actually recall sleepwalking at some point in their lives. That's very important. But it's also been linked to depression. And I don't want to make any assumptions, but they could possibly be that also 1 in 3 adults are depressed.
Ow. Overall, it is making progress with this kind of study, though, so,
that's on that's on the uprise. But yeah, 1 in 3 adults sleepwalk.
Speaking of medical conditions, though, this one is a lot worse and on the other side of the world, kind of. Over in Uganda, they are having a plague outbreak. Ebola. Now, I knew of Ebola before this, but I didn't realize how exactly bad it is. There is no cure. It is relatively deadly, and relatively meaning a lot, and highly communicable. In other words, just touching people can get it, and there's no cure. There's nothing even reduce the symptoms. So, and with this outbreak, the president of Uganda, whose name I'm not even going to try to say because I'm terrible at that, has come out and said, please no handshakes, no physical contact, and especially no kissing. So kissing is now pretty much illegal in Uganda, and that's for a terrible reason. Hopefully this is all taken care of soon. They are able to isolate it and try and take care of those infected. Ugh.
Moving on to good news, from infection to awesomeness. A woman pushed a car off of her dad and then performed CPR on him to save his life.
Cool.
Period. Awesome. So he was working on a car with a car and a jack and stuff. And the car the jack actually slipped and fell on him. She found him on her way out and then continued to push a car off of him, give him CPR, and give him an ambulance and everything, and, well, he's alive.
Overall, he was without oxygen for less than 5 minutes, so amazing. Speaking of awesome, though, this one's a little bit more sad, though also closer to me as well, in a way. Over in New York, New Jersey, there's a girl, 12-year-old girl, with her grandfather going along about 80 miles an hour, so a little probably over the speed limit, but not much. It's New Jersey. You know, they're speeding all over the place there. And he was actually driving her home because he wasn't feeling well, and, well, he suddenly had a heart attack and died right there. She freaked out for about 30 seconds, and then Miranda did the most amazing thing I've ever heard of. She got control of herself, reached over, tried to put it on the brake, tried calling 911. No signal, of course, because, you know, bad falls worse and all of that. That didn't really work, so she moved over, put both feet onto the brake as much as she could. It was still not slowing the car down enough because, well, her passed away grandfather's foot was on the accelerator this whole time, so not really working too well. Either way, she then looked around, saw a cornfield, saw a light, saw standing trees, said to herself, I don't want anyone else to get hurt, and directed herself into the trees. She did survive, thankfully. Her grandfather could not be revived at this point. But this is that one phrase that she said to herself. I don't want anyone else to get hurt, and then was fully willing to sacrifice herself for the safety of strangers. I say I have a little bit of close tie to that. I was in a wreck where I did something similar. I said something to myself that's similar to that, except it started out as my fault, so she has a lot less guilt.
Yeah, I know that crash. It literally rode car over.
I should be dead right now. And thankfully, there are more people in this world that do have that same thought of, I don't want people to get hurt, so I will get hurt instead. Good job, Miranda. I hope you have a good, long life because you're going to improve so many things.
Yes, you are. So on to science. Yeah, you don't need Jeremy. Okay, moving on to science. At the airport, they're actually contemplating doing an iris scan, scanning your eye with everything and all that, to make it so basically you go into another line for security and making it shorter and stuff. It's for frequent flyers, mostly, because it's $170 a year. So if you just fly like once a year, it probably won't be worth it.
Yeah.
But it's not actually circumventing security. You still have to go through some, but it's less and, well, it's shorter, because how many people do you know that are really going to pay $170 a year to do this if they're not already making the money?
Overall, I think it's a good idea. You tell us what you think down in the comments below. We'll probably put that as the question of the day. And on over to Singapore, because, well, Singapore's a crazy place. Sorry, Jason Pat can't be watching this, but if you know him, you know what I'm talking about.
Loves the place.
They have set a world record over there, not for surfing or whatever, an island place, I know, but for the most cupcakes used in a mosaic. 20,000. The pictures are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hand in a heart shape over their flag is just huge, and what I'm trying to figure out is how did the Guinness World Record people count it without eating them?
In case you don't know, cupcakes are delicious. Period. So moving on to the last story of the day, an international crime syndicate was found. Or actually, their drugs were, and it was all busted. In Australia, they actually found like this truck, and it had pots in it, and they scanned it with x-rays, and they noticed something a little off. So they went and got the pots and opened them, and they found 674 pounds of crystal meth and 555 pounds of heroin.
Holy crap, this is $526 million worth of illegal drugs.
Yeah, it all comes out to over about 1,000 pounds. It was recovered in some kind of putty substance to help hide it and all that. But this all goes back to about a year ago that, well, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Association tipped them off that some crime syndicate thing was going to try and bring in drugs to Australia. And, well, busted.
This is awesome. This is perfect. This is an operation done correctly. Unlike, Fast and Furious. Anyway, thanks for watching. These are extraordinary times. I'm AJ.
I'm Caleb.
If you liked it, kind of like it over there. Favorite here. If you want Jeremy backing us to get better, subscribe. It really helps us out. Share us Twitter, Facebook, wherever, however you share us. Just thank you so much for sticking with us through all of this. And
peace.
Be aware.
I have no idea what to say. Bleeper. And cut it.
Cut it?
Yes. More bloopers. Story face. You don't have to keep that in. Okay.
Blooper everywhere. I'm so happy today.